Good evening and welcome to the Cane and Back Sam YouTube channel, where we aim to educate and entertain. So tonight's little demonstration is going to be how to make a martini. And this is not the kind of martini you see on a martini menu when you go out to a nice bar. This is just gin and vermouth martini. So to start with, you need gin and vermouth. As far as gin goes, I would recommend maybe a Beefeater, Tanqueray, Bombay, something that's slightly above the bottom of the shelf. As far as vermouth goes, you could get Martini and Rossi. Now, my preference is this fine stuff here, which is all written in Italian, and it's Antica Ricetta Vermouth Pregiato. See? Very nice fancy bottle, and I think this is a sweet vermouth, because you could get dry vermouth or sweet vermouth. This stuff is a lot more expensive than Martini and Rossi, but it's not going to break the bank, and at the rate I drink martinis, this will last me maybe a year, so it's well worth the investment. The word gin comes from juniper, or is derived from the word juniper, little blue juniper berries. And if you were to pick one when it's ripe and smell it, it smells just like gin. Now, I also like to use are olives. And here we got Mezzetta pitted, Castelvetrano olives. That's a big long name. But I like these because they don't have a really heavy flavor, because you don't want it to dominate your drink. And as you can see, I did this ahead of time because the last thing you want to have happen when your martini's ready to drink, you're shaking it and everything's done, is to find out that your olives are way down here and now you're frantically trying to stab them and getting on there while the martini is getting warmer by the second. You don't want that. You have to be ready. As soon as I pour that martini out of this guy, boom, right in there, and then you drink it. So, that's one thing. Be prepared when you're making a martini. As you can see, everything's ready. Got the ice. My olives have been pierced. And now we're going to get to the actual making of a martini. Here we go. Lots of ice in there. Because the one thing about the martini is you want it as cold as you could stand it. Okay. You could use this for measure how much gin you want to put in there. This thing makes a fine measuring device as well. And it's also part of this. How ingenious. Oh my goodness. Okay. The other thing is, how dry do you want your martini? As I said, I don't drink mine very dry. You can put a lot of vermouth in here, which will make it quite a sweet martini. You can put a microscopic drop of vermouth in here, which will make it a very dry martini. But for the ultimate, the driest martini, I'm going to show you how to do that first. Okay? So, here we go. So I think I'll use this guy to measure it. For the driest martini ever, you pass this bottle of vermouth over it, and you say, "In nomine Padre, Filio, Spiritus Sancto, Amen." There you go. You shake it, and you'll have a dry martini. However, okay, whoops. Here we go. Just a little tiny bit. Oh, okay. That's why it's going to last me about a year. How long do you shake this? Until it becomes too cold to hold. Just remember that. Keep going until this thing... You know what? I keep going, but I don't want to bore you people to tears, especially since you were nice enough to watch my channel. Oh boy, this is the part. There it goes. Oh. I like pouring through this. I have a choice. You can pour through this thing, which is a big pain. I don't like it. Or this. Now, where's the glass, you ask? I'm not joking around. We want to look at that. Nice and frosty. If you have a martini in a bar and it's not frothy looking, send it back, because see that? It's nice and frothy. Your martini should not look like water when it's served to you. That's what happens when you stir a martini. And as James Bond says, shaken, not stirred. If you could avoid it at all costs, don't get a stirred martini, because you will regret it for the rest of your life. So, there you go. I can't tilt the camera, obviously, but that pretty picture right there. So, cheers. Thank you for viewing.